On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a dismembered zombie.
On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 shotgun shells
And a dismembered dead zombie.
On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 shots vodka,
2 shotgun shells,
And a dismembered dead zombie.
On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 4 severed limbs,
3 shots vodka,
2 shotgun shells,
And a dismembered dead zombie.
Christmas to love.
4 severed limbs,
3 shots vodka,
2 shotgun shells,
And a dismembered dead zombie.
On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 lockjaw splatting
and rain. 4 severed limbs,
3 shots vodka,
2 shotgun shells,
And a dismembered dead zombie.
On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 bottles vodka,
6 lockjaw splatting
4 severed limbs,
3 shots vodka,
2 shotgun shells,
And a dismembered dead zombie.
On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 8 bowels bursting,
7 bottles vodka,
6 lockjaw splatting
4 severed limbs,
3 shots vodka,
2 shotgun shells,
And a dismembered dead zombie. On the 9th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 9 swords of slashing,
8 bowels bursting,
7 bottles vodka,
6 lockjaw splatting
4 severed limbs,
3 shots vodka,
2 shotgun shells.
And a dismembered dead zombie.
On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 10 meat sacks molting,
9 swords of slashing,
8 bowels bursting,
7 bottles vodka,
6 lockjaw splatting
4 severed limbs,
3 shots vodka,
2 shotgun shells,
and a dismembered dead zombie.
On the 11th day Christmas, my true love gave to me 11 cases vodka,
10 meat sacks molting,
9 swords of slashing,
8 bowels bursting,
7 bottles vodka,
6 lockjaw splatting
4 severed limbs,
3 shots vodka,
2 shotgun shells,
and a dismembered dead zombie.
On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love sent to me 12 filthy swinehunds,
11 cases vodka,
10 meat sacks molting,
9 swords of slashing,
8 bowels bursting,
7 bottles vodka,
6 lockjaw splatting
4 severed limbs,
3 shots vodka,
2 shotgun shells,
and a dismembered dead zombie.
Thank heavens it's not 13 days.
Spirit of Christmas die.
One more one.
On the 13th day, my true love would kill death.
Nice. Can I leave now?
Don't forget the big box of hate for you.
I go take shit now.
You're listening to EC Airwaves, very special edition today. Starting off, hold on, I'm going to adjust the mic because I may be a bit loud. No, wait, that seems okay, yeah. We're joined tonight by Urtheart, of course, who's actually doing the dishes.
Screw you.
Got him well trained now. Also joined via the magic of Skype, Kevin, Eva, AAUK.
You may know me from such shows as the one that you've just had.
Which was rather...
Sure, yeah. This is Tea Time Radio Redux, Emerald Coast Airwaves, in the guise of the Sonic Show.
Yeah.
It's like our rather.
Yeah, and of course on the line we also have Adam T-Bird Tuft.
Woo! Hello! Woo! Yay! T-Bird!
Yay! Where's the fangirl scream?
There's no Blake Draco on here. There's no fangirl.
Yeah, but I don't know. Kira would do a fangirl scream if she was here, but she's not, unfortunately.
I'm doing a fangirl scream for Blake Draco in my head. The love's there.
Oh yeah. We all
the
do
love's
a fangirl.
there, but the person himself is not.
Mm.
Yeah.
We all do a fangirl scream when we see him, or when he appears.
I don't, because I'm immune because I live with him.
Yeah. Well, it takes a while to develop the immunity, though, really.
Mm.
All right, so on the Tonight Show, we have no plan. So it should be rather interesting. I'm sure we'll think of something within the next 30 seconds. Josh?
Indeed we will.
Zombies! Well, let's introduce you to what we had.
Yes.
We have had the main up over the weekend for various stuff, and she left us with
some rather interesting pieces of music which you have just been privy to.
Basically, the history of it is she has, well, if you didn't guess by our last show where she was, level 101 on Kino, Nazi Zombies on Black Ops,
yeah.
She decided to bring Black Ops up to try and get us hooked on it, although she kind of already has.
It failed miserably with me, though.
Well, I was already playing it.
Yeah, he was hogging it.
But,
so.
No, she was hogging it more than me.
Oh.
And, so she left us with something that Activision did for Christmas, which is all the voice actors from the Nazi Zombie game singing Christmas songs rather screwedly.
And it's frickin' awesome. So,
it is very hilarious, especially if you know the characters.
Also,
to have all this money and be able to just go, I'm going to do my little pet project.
Yes.
In all honesty, I think the voice actors probably enjoyed it. I think I think they enjoy their roles of the characters a little bit too much.
To be honest, if I had a voice acting job doing their job, I would enjoy it.
I certainly think whoever's... Rick defended Nikolai, certainly. Dempsey, I think whoever is doing it is probably so American that,
Yeah, and he just ends up being the butt of all the jokes. Most of them.
Because he's American.
Yeah. Because they're Americans and buttholes. Are there any Americans in the IRC tonight? Just so I know to start lining up building the bunker now.
No offence, Vger, but how many times have you dug holes for yourself?
Many, many, many times. Anyway, actually, quick shout out to the IRC tonight. We have Spondy, Wide, Voice, Vger, Urtheart, Trigon, Trekkie, T-Bird, Spin, Sonic AD, Silver Sonic, Shadowfox 04, Shadex, Keo, Non-Cage, Riddick, Marshmallow Fox, Matt Hez, Evan Stanley, a lovely artwork, D'Artagnan, Corelius RR, Big C, Dark Speeds, who got off the radio on time. No offense, man. AUK, MK, Jazik, and the almighty, the all-powerful, the all-seeing, the all-knowing Canbot. Cake! And Urtheart has cake now. Damn him.
You're allowed cake.
Lies.
What?
Lies.
I'm celebrating.
Yes, he's celebrating and he does actually have cake.
In fact, T-Bird actually came to celebrate with us earlier.
Yeah. It was a nice big meet and, Josh cooked lunch. I haven't had to cook all weekend. It's awesome.
And yes, my phone will constantly be going off in the background because the may not be here in body, but she's here in spirit.
Yes.
So she'd like you to know this.
In text.
Vger is gay, that is all. Yes, in text.
Not gay.
Vger is gay, but only in text, so has somebody done a fanfic about him?
Oh God, no!
No,
Don't give these people ideas. I've seen some of the shit they come up with.
/fiction.
This is the main game, so it's not that kind of game.
Yeah, you don't want to give these people ideas as well. Then complete nutters.
There we go. Vger XT fanfics have already been thought up. Great.
I love how nobody can pair me up with anyone because I'm a complete heartless git and kill everyone I know.
Can I just stick with the paw? I'm paired with the paw. I'm happy with paw.
And wrenches.
And wrenches, yes. Many wrenches. And as a side...
You probably shouldn't reference wrenches and your port.
Well, also as a side note for earlier, you mentioned there was black oil or a black type of thing.
Yeah, I said
dripping
it
off my
was
wrench.
GTX.
That is, it's meant to preserve the wrench. You cover it in oil in order to prevent it from rusting.
Well, not necessarily.
Yes, Joe.
If you're worried that your particular wrench is going to rust, then there's something very wrong with it.
I just like to keep it well maintained.
Rusty wrench. Go and see a doctor.
Alright, so actually, should we throw it out to the IRC to see what they can come up with tonight?
So
I know it's a dangerous thing to
Phil,
do.
this is such a... No.
No, we're going to have to come up with something on our own.
Okay, Jayzik, no Urtheart X Jayzik fanfic. That's your personal imagination.
Yes, keep it all inside your head, please.
Also, you don't have boobs, so you can't pair me with you.
It may be earthy.
No, it says Urtheart X Jayzik.
Maybe it's a typo.
No.
JJ
And also, Earthy's a lesbian, so that still doesn't make any sense.
Well, maybe he's female in his head.
No, because he loves Adam.
This is going way too far. I'm trying to just justify someone's mental fan fiction.
You've
It's not
got
going
this
well.
huge love triangle, and at the centre of it is Jayzik, who just loves everybody and wants to marry everybody.
Well, that's fine, but he's not going to marry anyone.
No, I'm just going to shoot him.
Yeah.
Repeatedly.
That's nice. Classy, in fact. Very classy. So, yes, we seem to be ranting very well and wasting time. Which is all well and good.
Cake!
Yes, cake.
I want more cake.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get more cake.
Also, to bring in the show, we had Johnson out with Sonic Adventure 2 advertise version B. Because it was random and I felt like it. We're going to be hearing that all night. You don't know what it's like. I hear it every day.
Is there not like this mode called silent?
It is. It involves me hitting it with a sledgehammer. Josh won't let me.
Here's an interesting. That one wasn't from the main. This was from Shadow Fox.
What's he say?
Talk about potatoes.
Potatoes. Oh, potatoes are awesome. I love potatoes. Josh hates them.
I don't hate them.
He doesn't like them. He's had too many of them
I
in his
ate
time.
the roast potatoes today that I made, thank you very much.
I eat roast potatoes, boiled potatoes, chips. I love my chips. Crisps. Yeah. You like crisps?
Not particularly, no.
That's... You suck.
I actually had a better idea about what to think about.
Oh.
Or what to talk about, whatever.
Yeah. Well, anything beats potatoes at this point.
Well, let's put it this way. The year ended the decade, ended in January.
Yeah. And supposedly, if you believe certain calendars, systems.
You cannot have had a year zero, so the decade ended...
You never know, they might have decided, let's count up from zero, but go on.
Alright, I will turn this on to silent in a second.
Yay, thank God, my sanity is saved.
And those were true.
Yes, very much rejoicing.
Yes, and now Nemain, Texas.
Anyway, what was the topic idea before we completely get off track?
Best games of all time.
Oh, for the last 10 years, or...?
No, of all time. Because most gaming's been... Well, okay,
I'd say for the last 10 years, because you've got to narrow the field a bit.
Well, I think if we talk about what we think are our top 5 games of all time, see if there's any that actually cross over.
Bear in mind, my best games of all time are fairly limited.
Yeah, that's fine. Mine aren't. I've got a top 20 list which I can't decide which are best.
Alright. You guys up for that? Top 5 list of games.
Our personal 5.
Personal
Yeah,
5.
your
Personal 5.
And if there's any that cross over, we can basically decide among them which is the best game.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Of the last decade, so we're saying any game released between January 2001 and December 2010.
Yeah, if you want. I was actually going to say just leave it open to all games full stop, makes it easier.
Could do, yeah. Yeah. See you up for that?
I wasn't listening. What was that?
I think we'll go on a music break and we'll come back to you guys.
Yeah. Wait, I get to say that.
Good.
Okay, coming up next we have a very long music break actually because queued up we have Spiral Madness from a game. I don't know where I got it from. It's from a Sonic game.
Spiral Madness is from one of the Sonic Riders, isn't it?
Actually, yes, it's from Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, so there. I remembered. Kind of. And then we'll have Angel Island Act 2 from Sonic Team. Yeah, so enjoy these. Back shortly. And we're back. Sorry to cut you in there, T. Yes, we're back because we've just realised that Top Gear is at 8, so we're going to run this slightly faster. Because I want to watch it. I think Kev wants to watch it as well, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about T.
And so we have to make
I'll watch it when, it doesn't interfere with my life, like on one of these iPlayers or something like that.
Yeah, but look at it this way. We're going to lose all our listeners at that point.
Yeah, well...
they can also... they're all on the internet, so they can...
That's a very good point. But you know what these people
They're fans on the internet now?
We all have fans on the internet for some reason.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
I hope I bloody well don't.
You can hope as much as you like, but you're still going to have them.
Can I kill them?
Yes.
Yes.
If you really want to. Okay, right, let's get this train wreck moving.
Remember when Top Gear used to be about cars?
No!
I don't watch the...
That was when Noel Edmonds was presenting it.
Quentin Thomas or whatever his name is, the one with the... He's on
Quentin
50 years now anyway.
Nelson, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I'm probably the only one in this conversation who doesn't care about Top Gear at all.
Josh, is there something you do care about? Because every time we say it, it's like, I don't like it or I don't care about it.
We end up just talking about it. I'm sorry, you fail.
I still want boobs.
Your washing up is calling you, Josh.
Yeah,
Washing up's done.
Well, then get the washing out of the washing machine and hang it up.
We're doing a show.
Yes, we're
Get on
doing
with
a
the
show. Okay, getting on with the show. Right, in at number 5 for your favourite games of all time. All time. Let's go with it. Josh can begin because he's the one that's got all this prepped in his head, probably.
Yeah, I've had it prepped in my head for years because I
just go on.
did it for
Number
a sailing
5.
competition. Mine aren't actually in any particular order. I'm just naming 5.
Okay, name 5.
So,
well, name the first one of your 5.
Yeah. So first one, I'm actually going to go for a slightly more obscure game. I'm not a big Mario fan, yet I love this game. It is Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door on the GameCube. Mm-hmm. It is a brilliant little RPG, but more important, it's a JRPG, so it's turn-based, but they've got enough interactivity into the battles that it just doesn't feel... It feels fresh, it feels nice, and there's loads of little innovations, such as to regain your star power, you basically have to make the audience who are watching your battles cheer for you by either doing good attacks or by basically showing off. But it's a really good system. Yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, if you haven't played it, you have to. I need to regain my copy, but yes. Is
it easy to get a hold of at this point?
No, it's an old GameCube game.
Yeah, that's the thing. GameCube games aren't the easiest to get a hold of now, and I assume Nintendo hasn't republished it yet.
And to be honest, even at the time, it was quite hard to find because nobody thought it would sell.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Right. T, number 5.
Well, it's not number 5. I don't know. It only comes to mind straight away because it's within the last year, which is pretty unusual because most of my favourite games are pre-last, 20th century games. Bayonetta by an absolute landslide. I think it appealed to me on the level that you're a scantily clad, sexy witch secretary, but I'm a big fan.
But not in a Sour Palin type of way.
Well, there's something beyond. I mean, I love the Devil May Cry games, but there's something very sluggish about Dante. Whereas Bayonetta, the game, picking the controller up, it was just so fluid, and all the little nods to every other game in there. I mean, there's the Afterburner tracks and the fantasy zone.
It was done.
There's Space Harrier.
Yeah.
There's references to Resident Evil girls in there. There's Resident Evil, what have you buying when you go to the bar and things like that. And it's a fun game and it's got lots of fun things in. And I think I've played through the story mode at least 5 or 6 times.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's brilliant. It really is fun.
I mean, the achievements aren't too bad to get either. I mean,
I'm still working on it.
I mean, I will agree. I think Bayonetta is certainly in contender of, because it was released last year, wasn't it? This time last year. I would honestly consider that as a hot contender of Game of the Year.
The thing is, it was released at the wrong time because because of considering it was released very early on and no one's going to remember it at this point.
Yeah, I suppose.
Certainly on the critics' perspective.
I approve it. It has boobs.
Yeah.
I'm okay. It has good boobs and it's a good game. So
I'll admit it's sitting right in front of me as one of my top 5s as well. So that cuts one of mine. Kev?
I've put them in a very, very rough approximation. So number 5 for me is Sonic Triple Trouble.
Cool.
fair enough.
Interesting.
Because I absolutely love and adore that game.
To be honest, I've
don't you think it's a bit odd in the sense of a Sonic game?
Oh yeah, it's very odd in the sense of a Sonic game. But I don't care.
You just like it.
No, it's not a bad thing. Definitely not a bad thing, but...
Well, it's got one of your favourite characters in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old Fang.
Gotta love him.
The thing is, the first time I played it was on Sonic Adventure DX, because I never had a GameCube.
Yeah.
So I played it first from that, and I did enjoy it. It was a bit confusing to start off with, but it worked.
I'll be the first to admit I've never actually played it. Josh is going to make me load up Sonic Adventure DX now and make me play it.
Not now.
I'd seriously give it a go and have a think of what every other Gear game was like when you play it.
The thing is, a lot of the other Game Gear games were Master System ports, though.
Well, not all of them.
So on the Sonic front, on the 2D platform Sonic front, Sonic 1, 2 and Chaos were all ports.
Pretty much.
Blast wasn't.
Blast wasn't, but that came out after Triple Trouble.
It wasn't as good.
No, it wasn't. Blast was quite...
But you've also got the racers as well. They were original to the... the drift.
I don't think we're going to get very far comparing Sonic Drift to Sonic Triple Trouble.
No. I mean, it's like, I've never played those because I know they're terrible.
Yeah. Labyrinth. Woo.
Yeah.
Vger,
Yes.
choice.
I've already said one of my 5 is Bayonetta, so...
You're just Skyping. Okay.
Yeah. No, I had it in my pile of games here, and I put it to one side now.
Okay, so it's my turn.
Number 4.
I told you mine aren't in any particular order.
Well, no, I mean, mine aren't in any particular order, but I've just, go with it.
My second one is, this is going to make me either sound really old school or, just...
Gay.
Nah. It's the original Unreal. Not Unreal, well, kind of Unreal and Unreal Tournament. I don't particularly want to split them up because they're basically the same game. Unreal Tournament was just an expansion of the multiplayer aspect. I just think the thing you'll remember is that engine revolutionised the games industry, 3D games industry. And Unreal itself it's not a perfect first-person shooter, but it's just very well done as your typical survive and, shoot everything that moves first-person shooter. And Unreal Tournament basically set the benchmark for deathmatch games after it was released. I mean, Quake 3 very quickly copied it.
Yeah, pretty much wholesale.
Yeah, the engine's being used all over the place. Hell, Sega uses it.
We're now on the Unreal 3 engine.
Yeah,
Unreal. Don't front, but still a progression of the previous versions.
The thing is, the Unreal Engine itself is a brilliant tool. I've used it. Most people won't ever use it for whatever, but it as far as a development tool goes. But as I said, that game practically reshaped the industry.
Yeah.
I say that Unreal Tournament because the first Unreal was very unrecognised, despite it actually being in my opinion, a very good game. The second one was horrible.
Well, it's the way these things go sometimes.
Yeah, it's just you're right. It's just the way it goes. But I think Unreal/Unreal Tournament.
Okay.
My top 5.
Yeah.
More games need the Ripper in it.
Huh?
More games need the Ripper in it.
Yes.
Yes, I agree with that one.
T. Number 4.
You don't know what the Ripper is.
I've
got a figure.
I've got I'm just writing down names as they come to my mind. I'm trying to think of ones that other people won't pick. Otherwise,
I'm fairly recent, unfortunately, because I was never heavily into games when I was a kid. Well, except for the Sonic ones.
Ooh. Anyway, one of my favourite games on the Mega Drive is probably I love really colourful games because I think that's if you use the full palette, then great. And I just love this game for like the sort of the quirky humour in it as well as sort of like the full design, because nearly every level is different. And Dynamite Heady for the Mega Drive. I don't think many people have played it, but it's such an unusual game in the sense that you have a choice of various heads that can do different activities, and just every level is just completely bonkers. You do not know what to expect on the first time round, basically. And it's just everything about it, just from the sort of the sound, the music in it. I can't remember who did. I think it was Suzuki did all the sound for it. Basically, if you haven't played it, check out a ROM of it, something in there.
Well, it's on the Ultimate Mega Drive collection, isn't it?
Yep.
It is, yes.
Alright, I'll get it.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. There's a little like sprite thing that follows you around and points at targets for you and says every time you see a target. And the first boss you encounter, she goes target, points at the tail, and then the dog just twats her away, and that's it. You've got to do the rest of the battle without her. It's like one of the first levels, and you're just like, this is genius. Yeah.
Right. Go on, Kev. You're next.
Kev, next.
Oh, now I'm debating on the positioning here because I've got a couple of notable
mentions.
Yeah. But I'm loath to say them in case they appear on somebody's list.
Yeah, it's unlikely to appear on my list, I would have said, because mine are mostly obscure. There's one.
Okay, well, I've just mentioned a couple of these notable mentions then. Tales of Symphonia.
Really?
Which just ate my time.
Oh, God.
I love Tales of Symphonia. I think it's a really good game. House of Overkill's on there as well for just sheer balls to the wall.
Oh, yes.
Bucket.
That is really, really awesome. Why did I do
that game just went, you know what? Screw this.
I will say, House of Dead Overkill, I probably wouldn't put it in my list, but actually,
it's up there.
I loved it.
It's not in my top 5. It probably wouldn't be in my top 10. But if I had to put put a list of games that was just pure smiling, all the way through it, Overkill would be it.
Yeah.
And that
so when's Overkill 2?
House of Overkill 2?
Yeah.
No,
not going to happen.
I can't put that on the list. It doesn't exist.
Yet.
Maybe. We hope. We pray.
Oh, and I'm going to put it. I'm going to take it out of my top 1 just because it doesn't fit anymore. But Link to the Past.
I can
Link to the
understand.
Past. The Zelda 3, if you like, on the SNES. But in 4th place is going to be Llamatron on the Atari ST.
Oh, classic.
See, Adam knows. No one else will have a freaking clue.
No, I got no clue.
No, okay, well, I'll explain. Llamatron is a game done by Llama Soft, as it is now. I think it was called slightly different than back in the day.
I've heard of them.
Which is the company that is owned and run by Jeff Minter, who is an absolute legend in the industry. He's so legendary you won't have heard of him. But he's one of the old bedroom gamers. He did all sorts of games based upon llamas and camels and all sorts of things. Grid Runner you may have heard of. Defender 2 he did as well. There's Llama Zap, Super Grid Runner. Revenge of the Mutant Camels was another one, but Llamatron was the one that I had, which was brilliant. 100 levels of just craziness and zombies and zombie sheep and all sorts of weird things.
Essentially just, for those who don't know, it was essentially just Robotron, but with a camel.
A camel and a llama. You can do 2 players, brilliant. But if you want a more, if you're thinking, oh yeah, well that doesn't break much to me nowadays. If you think back to the Atari Jaguar, he is the person behind Tempest 2000. But seriously, me and my dad just spent years, I think, on that. It's also the first game ever, as far as I'm aware, to have swearing in it.
Oh, interesting.
Because when you get killed, there is like this noise, and it changed. Sometimes it was just an explosion, sometimes it was that noise. And if you pressed pause at the exact moment, I did this by accident when I was about 7. If you press pause at the exact moment and you died, and you got the roar, it undid whatever the warping was. And it's just something going, oh, fuck!
Wasn't actually Jeffrey Minter recording himself?
It might have been Jeffrey Minter, I don't know. But
so that may have been a bit of an accident on their part.
Jeffrey Minter does actually look like a llama.
He does. He owns llamas. He has a llama sanctuary / farm.
Awesome.
He's amazing in a sort of really weird way. I'd love to meet him.
Right.
Your turn.
Okay, yes, my turn. I'm basing, just to give some clarification here, I'm basing this list on, I'm splitting it between the games I've ended up playing the most and the games I've loved playing. Now, the next one, I developed RSI on a bit on my thumbs. That was down to the controller, which I blame Sega for. And it was Crazy Taxi 2. I love that game to bits. I played it for months on end. I'd play it whole Sunday afternoons and just play it to the point where I get ridiculous sums of money. Now, for those of you not familiar with the Crazy Taxi series, basically you go around in a taxi and you pick up fares, you take them to destinations, you get paid for this, but it's all done on a timer. You give them more time as you go around, and it's essentially an arcade game that's been converted to the Dreamcast. Now, it would be on the Dreamcast that I'd have to play it. I literally wasted many Sundays to this, and I still love it. I've probably aged horribly now, because I've not played it for the last 4 or 5 years, but I just
Phil, can you do a good impression of the Crazy Taxi announcer?
It's time to play some Crazy Taxi! Yeah, I suck.
No, I said, can you do a good one?
No. I think that's the answer, no.
Shame.
It's like... Josh, number 3, or...
Number 3, any of those that you've watched some of my previous live streams will know that I love this game. It is a classic platformer / shooter, Jazz Jackrabbits 2. It is a graphically beautiful game even today. Certainly sprite work wise. Freaking beautiful. The gameplay itself, it's not a perfect game, but what's quite nice is that it came with a level editor and all, but more importantly, it had, there are still huge communities working on quality game, quality levels for it. Every month I tend to go over there, pick up a level, and it's just great. There's so much support for it still, and it was made by the same guys who made Gears of War. To be honest, it is like Paper Mario. It's actually worse than Paper Mario. To find a copy of Jazz Jackrabbits today, no chance.
In hell.
No chance.
A very cold day in hell, you'd get it.
You do know that's actually one of the levels, right?
A cold day in hell.
It's where hell's frozen over.
Yeah, you see I'm even picking up on this.
But it's just one of those great games. Great little characters. Not really much backstory to it, but
it does seem like a fun little game because you've shown me it a couple of times, and it's like,
it's got 2-player support. It's one of the first games PC Online play. Although to be fair, it was released when Windows 95 was out, and internet support was a bit shite.
Just a little bit, yeah. Right, T, you're number 3.
This was a big toss-up between two games that are very, very similar. Unfortunately, I'm not going to put one of them in my top 5.
Right.
And that's Animal Crossing, which...
Really?
which my brother started playing, and
okay.
me and my sister were kind of like, because I don't know whether anybody's played it on the DS, but you can have more than one account on the same game, essentially. And he started playing it. My brother was like, "No, you've got to play it. And I was like, "No, I won't. It looks really gay and lame." And you go around fucking saving up for a house, essentially. That's the game. Is paying off a mortgage to a raccoon. Anyway, I started playing this game, and it wasn't soon after that I started finding myself playing it until like 3 in the morning, just because you can stay up and catch things like tarantulas and scorpions, which you can sell for lots of money. And honestly, it's one of the most addictive games I've played, just for the fact you can just spend hours fishing or hunting tarantulas. It's great. But it's not in my top 5, unfortunately. Resident Evil 2 is. I can't count how many times I've played that game as well. And there's something it looks a bit crap now, I must admit.
Most of those games from that era just look terrible now, but we're spoiled now, really, we are. But...
it was great back in the day.
Oh,
I just remember playing it and going, I mean, compared to the fifth, which I love for very different reasons, and the fact that it's so bad, what's really bad.
Somebody's eating.
Yeah, I blame Kev.
I think Resident Evil 2 was probably the best of the sort of horror survival games of that period, definitely.
Yeah.
Which were the characters in? Was that with Jill and Chris?
No, that was with Leon and Claire. But what I liked about it was you could play 2 different scenarios, because at the beginning you crash in a car, and you either end up on one side of the fire on the car or the other. And if you play through Leon on one side, you then play Claire on the other, or you can play the second scenario, which is Leon on the other side and Claire on the other. So essentially you get 4 games in one. And I just remember being very excited by the fact that this game had such a high replay value.
I'll be honest, the only Resident Evil I've actually played was the Umbrella Chronicles for the Wii. I've not actually...
I think that was an on-rails shooter, really.
Yeah, I have actually played the original Resident Evil long ago, but I could not get used to the controls.
Yeah, I think I played a bit of the original Resident Evil, but at the time I just didn't get into it. I think I could get into that now, but at the time I wasn't.
The first Resident Evil is horrible. Really is a horrible game. It's not good controls.
Then how did they get to a sequel?
Well, just everything's laughable about it, but the fact it was quite a scary game, to be honest. And I think that's what made it, was the fact that it had the atmosphere.
Yeah. Whereas the movies that have come since are just hilariously bad.
Don't compare the movies to the game.
Yeah, they're so bad they're just hilarious to watch for random gore. So yeah.
Animal Crossing, but Resident Evil beats you there.
Well, yeah, I was a bit surprised when I heard Animal Crossing from you. It's like, what? Yeah. So, moving on to Kev, you're number 3. Or is it
Team Fortress 2.
Alright. Yeah.
Well, if you ignore the fact that Valve have become incredibly profiteering.
Yeah.
If you just take that and just put it to the side for a minute. It must be, bar Halo and COD multiplayers, probably the most populated and active multiplayer game there's been for a very, very long time.
Yeah, easily.
From a shooting point of view.
Yeah, I would actually say it's, to a certain extent, rivaling... what's it called?
Halo?
World of Warcraft, in terms of actual players.
And the thing is, it's a lot cheaper than World of Warcraft as well.
Yeah, because you only buy the game, you don't pay a subscription.
I'd say it's also that it and TF2, it and the original Team Fortress, they're like the lead-on, if you like. Even though the setup and location is slightly different to the games we're about to mention, it is the descendant, if you like, from that lineage of Quake and Doom and Unreal Tournament.
Yeah, and they just took it and said, let's have it slightly more wacky and entertaining, and keep that kind of thing, and make it work essentially, really, for it.
Yeah, it can be frustrating as hell, but you've got a group of mates. You've got a group of mates. You got 30-40 minutes to kill, and you want to have a good time.
Yeah. Have someone raise. Someone has to raise
pretty
at the other
in-depth
end,
tactics and what have you. It's actually quite good.
Yeah.
I mean, we as a crew, we've all had some good times on Team Fortress. I think.
Yes.
Both on the Xbox and more recently on the PC.
Which I finally got for the PC. Yes. The only reason I bought
the great thing about it is that you can be in such a completely, seemingly impossible situation and pull it out the fire. Likewise, you could be in absolute comfort in that game.
Yeah, and then suddenly
make a decision which is actually quite foolhardy. And even if you've been under the cosh radar, you can somehow win it. Anyway, moving on.
Such a well-balanced game. So,
Unfortunately, I think that was one of Vger choices as well.
It is, but you don't find out the position till later.
Oh, okay.
So, my number 3, one of the games that I thought was just spectacularly put together. I know everyone's gone for really old stuff, but I'm trying not to be cliche and just saying all the old Sonic games, because that's pretty much all I played as a kid. It's going to have to be Batman Arkham Asylum. I loved how it was put together. It fitted in with the mythos of the Batman series so well. And the stealth aspects, the gameplay,
it's a weird one because very few games are either stealth or combat that do well. This one really melds them well together. You can switch very quickly between the two for the most part. But as you say, it's just brilliant. It's just so well designed. Admittedly, I've got this on the PS3. I've also got the Joker stuff.
Yeah.
And
you've got to let me play that at some point.
When I get my copy back, it's in storage.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, I mean, the Joker's a hell of a lot harder to play with for the stealth bits, because obviously he doesn't have backdoors and all that.
Plus, the fact he's probably laughing every 5 seconds.
Yeah,
possibly. Yeah.
He can do stealth. I mean, he's got some interesting tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah.
But certainly playing as him in the combat ones, I mean, he has such an odd style, but it works so well. And again, they've got all the voice actors. They have brought a lot of the old voice actors back, but a lot of them have kind of gone. They've properly worked on it. The Joker, Mark Hamill.
Definitive.
We were discussing the different Jokers the other week. Mark Hamill, as far as a Joker, I think does one of the best jobs.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell if he's a complete psycho or just a very frightening killer.
Yeah.
This is kind of the thing you get with Jack Nicholson, is he's funny. He gets the funny side.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger got the frightening side.
Certainly crazy things in that, if you talk to a lot of Batman fans and a lot of comic fans, if you ask them who the definitive Joker is, you're not going to get any of the movie guys. You're actually probably going to get Mark Hamill.
Yeah. He balanced it so well.
It is the laugh. The thing is, the laugh is what, in theory, I think should define the Joker, because it's, as a villain, one of his defining things. That laugh that Mark Hamill can pull off just sets the mood of exactly what the Joker is. You can't tell.
Who'd have thought that Luke Skywalker would end up being an absolute psycho?
Just a quick note, guys, because the live stream isn't doing really much, I'm probably going to cut the image on it, and we might go to camera for
just for lols and just to look at me, because it's pointing at me.
But it does mean I'm going to have to restart it again, so bear with us a second.
Alright, well, since we've just finished off 3, I think it's time for a bit of a music break. So, coming up next we have Angel Island's Own Act 2. I know I promised that earlier, but yeah. And then Bullet Station from Sonic Heroes by John Snell. Enjoy these, and we'll be back shortly with our 2s and 1s of favourite games of all time. And we're back again for number 2s and number 1s.
Today.
You're dirty, and you've got a very dirty mind for just thinking what you thought. So, go to Josh quickly.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about the 2s and 1s.
Yep. Well,
Anyway, my next game on my list, because as I said, I'm not ordering mine.
Because you're gay, can't do it.
No, it's because, well, to some extent, but sometimes it's a case of, I think my number 1 is definitely out of my mind what sticks in my head the most. But this one, for me, this was the pinnacle of what I would call the 3D exploration games. I've always been a firm believer that there is no such thing as a 3D platform game.
Oh god, I know where this is going.
But what I'll say is I think this game was the absolute pinnacle, and I don't think anyone's ever beaten it since. And that is Banjo-Tooie. Banjo-Kazooie started the ball rolling very nicely. Rare basically took that engine and copied it for Donkey Kong 64, but I think Banjo-Tooie really perfected it in the way it worked its world. You actually had the Isle of Hags was a giant world. You had your hub world, and then you had the levels coming off it, but then the levels themselves all interconnected because it was one giant island. And you had all the moves, all that stuff. It was just so well crafted. I mean, in terms of Rare, well, certainly the old Rare, I wouldn't say they really exist in the same sense today.
No, they're just a whore to Microsoft now, really.
But I honestly...
So you say that, Phil, but they got bought by Microsoft, and now that's what they do.
Well, yeah, it's essentially they just do work for Microsoft.
They're probably the only studio who are actually guaranteed to be around in the next 5 years.
Oh, good point.
Well, remember, what was the most recent thing they did? Was to make the avatars for Xbox.
That's their main job.
Yeah.
People
they have a hand in Connectables as well.
Why don't they do any core games anymore? They're making the Avatar stuff. They make all the Avatar stuff.
Yeah.
Apart from a very small percentage, all that stuff goes through Rare. They're very cool Twitter people, though.
Yes, I did see that actually.
I've got to follow them now.
But I think definitely Banjo-Tooie, in my mind, most people will go GoldenEye or Perfect Dark. That most people will say that was their pinnacle. I disagree because those games haven't aged well, whereas Banjo-Tooie has. Banjo-Tooie is still just as enjoyable to play today as it is back then, because there's nothing like it. There's nothing better, in my opinion. You know, people go Mario Galaxy, whatever.
We're not giving that game the time of day.
Is it nuts and bolts like?
No, don't get him started on nuts and bolts. He's been here for 6 months.
I won't, as long as you've played Banjo-Kazooie and you played Nuts and Bolts.
Yeah.
Would you agree they're similar?
Not really. Not at all.
There we go then. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I've got someone to back me up.
Huh?
Yoho?
Yoho? Anyway, so yes, Banjo-Tooie.
Enough vocal progressions.
Banjo-Tooie's going in there, I think.
Yeah. That's a fair one. T, you're number 2.
It's a big, scheming. I was tempted to say Sonic Shuffle, but it's not really. I like Sonic Shuffle.
I've still got to get it working as a game. It's like
Sonic Shuffle is fun though. But no, I'm an old school gamer, so this is how it goes. Basically because whenever either me or my brother, or even like me and my sister get a spare 40 minutes now, we either plug in a Mega Drive or we get one of the game collections and just have a playthrough, start to finish, no continues, Streets of Rage 2.
Alright.
It's just, honestly, it's not anything special, it's just balls to the wall and it's fun. And I think that's what makes a good video game, is, you can be fancy in 3D and all that shite. But when it comes back down to it, all you want to do is play through a game that you've played a million times before and it still never pans out the same way, and you end up having a fight with each other because somebody will throw an enemy into somebody else.
For some reason it always made me laugh whenever someone was playing as Blaze and somebody else was playing, and you accidentally grab Blaze from behind, and you just know where they grab. I think it's not Max, it's the other one for Streets of Rage 2.
Axel,
that's it. If he grabs it just looks wrong.
The thing is, what I do is then you throw the person over your shoulder, which is where usually the trouble comes in. So.
Yeah.
But it's It's nothing, technical, there's two types of health, there's apples and chickens, and it's always the fight over who picks up the gold bars and, and who picks up the katana when it eventually appears, and, it's just good, plain, good old fun, yeah. And that's it. And a game shouldn't have to be anything technical or, you shouldn't have to have, this customizable menu's awesome. It's just a game where you can pick up and play it with anybody. And I think that's what I like about it. And I love introducing people who haven't played it to the game. The end.
Okay, Kev, your number 2?
My number 2 has a 2 at the end of it.
Oh.
It is Turrican 2.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
I've heard of
Turrican
it.
2. It's the sequel, Turrican 1.
I've heard of it, I think. Is this the dinosaur one?
Yeah. Soundtrack to it's fantastic. I love the music in Turrican.
Yes, I think you're thinking of Turok.
Alright, okay, I'm barking up the wrong game.
I know
this
what
was this is a shooter platformer from Electronic Arts back in the day when they were actually cool and not evil.
Well, they're slightly
They've
more
gone
cool
back
now.
the other way now.
They're slightly cooler now because Activision has taken the title of Supreme
Yeah,
Evil.
Activision's but they haven't changed in any way. All that's happened is that they're not the biggest anymore.
Yeah.
And Activision has become equally as big a dick.
I don't
That doesn't
know.
necessarily mean they've stopped being.
No. I think EA has changed a little.
I think they've gone back a little, not massively, but I think that's been because a lot of their big money spinners aren't big money spinners anymore.
Yeah, and they've decided, right, we need to concentrate on new IP, creating something that interests people, which is what they're doing.
Well, I mean,
the last few years we've had Dead Space, we've had, admittedly they turned that into a franchise now, we've had Dante's Inferno.
That's why it didn't make any money.
Well, yeah, it's like these games, that's the great thing, they're not making any money, but it's winning PR on my front.
well, the other game you bought from recently is that Risk Fractions.
Oh yes, I love Risk Factions.
I must admit you've got me into it as well.
Yeah, it's a great tactical game.
Anyway, Turrican 2.
Yeah, Turrican 2, sorry. Getting distracted.
It was created by there. It's a space marine. You've got an invincibility weapon, which is basically turned into a giant Catherine wheel of doom and death.
I like Risk Factions.
You've got old school upgradable weapons of various types, rebounds, basic flamethrowers, which get longer and longer, and multi-shots and all those sort of things. And it's great. There's a fantastic soundtrack, which T referenced earlier, by Chris Hillsbeck, which I really suggest people look at.
He did Great Gianna Sisters, which some people might have heard of as well.
Oh, yes.
That's another fantastic he's done.
Great
I believe
Gianna
he's done. He did one of the Star Wars games not too long ago, I think.
I think he might well have done, yeah.
Before it turned into LucasArts just churning them out.
Yeah, I think I'm sure it's like one of the GameCube games, like Rebel Strike. Anyway, Turrican. Yeah.
It is just brilliant fun, and there's all sorts of little bits in there. It's turned into a 2D shooter ship fighter at some point in that, and it's just really, really detailed. And if you got the Atari ST one, it came on a white floppy disk. That's how cool this game was. Okay, pure white floppy disk.
I got mine on cassette for my Commodore 64.
Oh, you got the 64? I think people think the Amiga one's the best version, but I had the Atari ST.
You guys make me feel too young. I don't even remember those consoles. But I know of them. But I mean, the first console I had when I was 3, I think, and that was a Master System.
But I mean, I came in later than that. I mean, I came in on the Mega Drive, and
I thought you were going to say it was like a speak and spell. It's like first one. So yeah, but you forget I'm older than you guys.
yes, a
I
little
know.
bit, but only by a couple of years.
I'm 28 in what? How many weeks? 3 weeks next year.
Yeah, I'm a little kiddie round here.
Yeah, he's the baby. Wait, how did you get a Master System? I never had a Master System. I jumped straight to the Mega Drive.
The only person who's older than me is Trippy.
That's scary.
Trippy's older than me.
I just look older than all you.
Yeah, that's great. It makes me feel good about myself every day.
But yeah, anyway, that's Turrican 2.
Yeah.
I suggest people look it up.
There you go. Phil, your turn.
Alright. Oh, it's number 2's now.
Yeah.
Right. This is rather difficult to say, because, throughout my life, I played Sonic the Hedgehog games, and I've stuck strictly to them. I get obsessive like that. Well, I've managed to keep Sonic out of the top 5 list until now, and I'm trying to narrow it down to one Sonic game, just so it's not cliche and boring for you guys as well. And
Sonic.
I'm going to have to go with, because it is the game that brought me back to the series. It's the game that I went into game and I watched the start-up of, because it was on the opening loop sequence for the better part of 6 months in game stores. I just went in there and watched that over and over. And it was Sonic Adventure 2 for the Dreamcast. I've gone away from the franchise for a few years because, of course, it kind of died a bit after the Mega Drive. I wasn't particularly interested in the Sega Saturn. Dreamcast came along. I picked it up late on in its life, and I got Sonic Adventure 2 for Christmas afterwards, and it's like, I loved it. And looking back on it now, I can point out all sorts of flaws, and it's like, yes, it's not a perfect transition to 3D gaming, but it was one of the first proper 3D games I played, probably, barring Doom. Even then, that's 2D at the time. And it's like, I just look back on it with rose-tinted glasses, really. And if I probably went back to it now, if it ever gets an Xbox Live release, I'll be just going, oh God, it's terrible. It's not aged well, or something.
I don't think it'll have aged that badly. I played it back in November with Tool Guy, and it still played fairly well. I think Sonic Adventure 1 hasn't aged very well.
Oh yes.
Sonic Adventure 2, I think, has aged a little better. I won't say it's flawlessly aged.
No.
The camera's still.
Well, yeah, the camera's been a problem for a long time. But to be honest, at the time, I didn't notice. I enjoyed it for the story, the different gameplay types, because you've got the running, you've got the flying, you've got the digging, you've got the shooting, and it just seemed to me at the time to be a perfect game. It seemed to meld everything together, and it seemed to do it well. Admittedly, that'll be a lot of my innocence towards playing different kinds of games at the time. I just really enjoyed it at the time, and I think I still would to a certain extent.
I honestly think, as far as Sonic Adventure 2, I never had a Dreamcast. I got it on the GameCube. I got it for release on the GameCube.
Yeah.
And I remember going through the entirety of the game, A-ranking everything, getting every single emblem, and I can imagine myself happily doing it again.
Yeah.
Not just because I'm a Sonic fan, but because I genuinely enjoyed the game.
Yeah. I will admit I never got to that stage where I was A-ranking absolutely everything. I'm a terrible gamer.
I'm a perfectionist.
He's a perfectionist. I'm just a terrible gamer, and it's like I'll lose patience eventually. But I loved it. I really did at the time. The story, yes, the whole emo Shadow the Hedgehog thing took me in completely, and I thought it was awesome. But looking back on it, I think, oh God. But I still love him. I still love Shadow. So yeah.
That was probably the game for me when I realised there was something about, I sort of went, God, the last 2 soundtracks for these games have just been amazing.
Yeah.
Who is the man who's doing this?
Yeah. And the soundtracks hit it up perfectly as well, because I still listen to it. I've still got them playing on my iPhone. I love them.
What's Tales' first level called?
Oh God. Mission Street?
No, it's the one based on Prison Island. That's all I know.
Yeah,
but I love that track. That will always stick with me, among others. But if I'm going to have to pick one track, it's that. It's that track.
And that's the one Sonic game that's always stuck with me. Is enjoyed. And I've enjoyed the later Sonic games. I've enjoyed Sonic Unleashed, and I've enjoyed Sonic Colors most recently. But it's when I go back and think about it, I've got the fondest memories of Sonic Adventure 2.
I mean, you were talking about the music there. I mean, whenever we have a new soundtrack, what is the soundtrack we compare it to?
Sonic Adventure 2, yeah.
Sonic Adventure 2.
It really was the pinnacle, I suppose, on the soundtrack front.
I honestly so wish that I had... I mean, I have a, unfortunately, pirate copy of the SA2 soundtrack, although admittedly it was given to me as a birthday.
I've probably got the same one as you have.
Yeah, well, the thing is, mine was given to me as a birthday gift, so
I
as far as I'm concerned,
anyway,
it's, a bit more than just the fact that it's soundtrack. But, honestly, I was over the moon with that. I don't care that it's pirate. It's, it is still the music.
It's a lovely soundtrack, and it's a shame more were never produced. But,
for some reason, Sonic Mark is singing the words for DuckTales.
Well, that's a bit outside what we're doing. So
I know what he's talking about.
Well, not unless DuckTales is one of our number ones.
Was it? It was a game, wasn't it?
Yeah, DuckTales 1 and 2 on the... No, DuckTales 1 on the NES and 2 on the Game Boy are considered quite...
Spindle.
Oh, God.
That was a TV series, wasn't it? On the Warner Brothers network, Spendville.
Yeah, Spend is a superhero.
Wait, what? Sorry?
He's Tom from the planet Jocelyn.
Anyway.
Josh, it's going completely over Josh's head on this.
I'm half asleep here.
Yeah.
I didn't go to sleep last night.
Okay, moving on, because we've got another about 15 minutes left or so. Get on to the number ones, because that'll take the most amount of time. So, Josh, your number one or your final one?
Well, this one will be my number one. And hopefully, the main might get us in just in time.
Oh, well. Hey, just in time.
Sure.
My
number one is a bit cliche.
Oh dear.
Have I had my number 2 yet?
Yes, you've had your number 2. Because I remember you making comments about asking about number 2. Me saying, well, what's your number 2?
I can't remember what I picked.
I can't.
That's Streets of Rage.
Streets of Rage. There we go.
Anyway, my number one is Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Yes, in theory it's 2 games, but I'm sorry, combined they create what I would consider is still the pinnacle of Sonic in terms of a whole package. Yes, I think I love Sonic Advance 2. I love the kind of speed, I love some of the little gimmicks in there. But I think Sonic 3 and Knuckles, basically, you had the best level design. You had so many options. You could play, normally you go through the game, find a route you're comfortable with, fine.
Yeah.
I still enjoy just going around the levels and having a look to see where I haven't explored. More so as Knuckles and Tails, obviously. But then again, there's your other thing. You've got, multiple ways to play. You've got Sonic Story, you've got Tails, which is exactly the same, but it gives you a chance to explore new areas. More importantly, you've got the 2-player mode there, Sonic and Tails, and it works as a 2-player mode.
Yeah.
And then you've got Knuckles, which is something completely different. Simple as. So,
it covered, for its time, it covered a lot of different gameplay types. It gave you so many options as well.
Yeah, and the thing is, the other thing from my point of view is the environments and the music. Again, it's all both the environments and the music are memorable. I think I could name every single level.
Yeah.
I'm not going to because
no, we'll be here all night.
But yeah, I wouldn't say everybody has to agree that is the pinnacle because I know a lot of people prefer Sonic 2. Yeah. And if I was actually going to choose the best Sonic game, I probably wouldn't choose that one. For personal reasons, I'd actually choose Sonic 1 on the Master System.
Because it was...
Because that was my first ever game.
Yeah.
But in terms of actual top game, which I'd recommend everyone play, Sonic 3 and Knuckles hands down.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, it is still a brilliant game to play today. I think it is aged beautifully and is still a complete classic.
Yeah. Alright. T, your number one.
Yeah, my number one's that. I've played so many games, and there's so many games that I still feel quite attached to now, particularly the Mega Drive and Master System ones. just to run off a few close contenders, Gunstar Heroes I love. Ristar I love.
Oh god, yeah, Ristar's.
Ristar's, I mean, it's got amazing...
It was by the same guys who made the Sonic series, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Rocket Knight Adventures was just amazing as well.
Sorry.
You featured that.
I did.
Which brings
Let me get the
nicely
sledgehammer.
Well, it brings me nicely back to what I think my favourite is probably, and I'm going to go back to the Master Systems, because there were some, I mean, I remember getting a Master System, and I got mine after the Mega Drive, which was a bit odd.
Yeah.
And so it was always the kind of the underdog game console. My brother used to love playing on the Master System, and I was always like, oh, no, the Mega Drive. Why would you ever want to play anything on the Master System? Now that we've got the Mega Drive. But I remember, and I still have very, very fond memories of playing the first two Sonics, the Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, and I think a lot of people miss them out. Now, particularly, I think if you say, have you played Sonic 1, people would go, yeah, and you'd end up talking about the Mega Drive version rather than the Master System.
Well, yeah, it is easily forgotten. I've played them a bit, the Master System games. However, I came in on the Mega Drive. I didn't really realise the whole Master System was out there at the time, and it was like I just went for the Mega Drive games. I came in on Sonic 2 and then went from there.
But that's the thing. I think it was really a missed out. A couple of really missed gems, to be honest. I love Sonic Chaos as well for completely arbitrary reasons.
Sonic Chaos I loved Sonic Chaos on the Master System as well. I mean, again, I played all those games on the Master System. I didn't play any of the Game Gear ones till DX release. But I mean, I have fond memories of 2 as well. I don't see why people found the second level of 2 so hard. With the Chaos
Sky High.
Huh? Sky High, yeah. The Emerald was not hard to get.
Yeah, the Hang Glider was a bit of a bitch to get the Emerald.
Why? I never had any trouble with it.
That's because you're gay.
You're a git.
Yeah.
Shush.
Gay git.
Oh.
Right.
Anyway, my number one is I'm going to cheat.
God.
I kind of want to say Jurassic Park for the Master System because that was a really funny game. I really enjoyed playing that game. Cause it was
I think I've still got Jurassic Park for the Mega Drive as well. I don't know if it's similar or...
No, it's not. This one's totally balls to the wall. I mean, you've got a rocket launcher, you're fighting dinosaurs with a rocket launcher.
I wish I had a rocket launcher in mine.
And it was just crazy, and there's an luminous blue Velociraptor as well. Yeah.
Because
anyway, my favourite game, well, no, it's not my favourite game. Just to put it in there with the other ones, because I think people might miss it out, and I'm going to cheat. We're not going to go Master System. But because I've always fantasised about playing a game where I was a physicist and I could go and kill things.
There we go. I know what's
life. I think it was just absolutely genius. I love the designs of the enemies and just the play out of the levels. And I love Portal as well. Portal's fantastic.
Portal, I would agree. I think Portal is a almost perfect game. I would say.
Yeah, I would agree.
I couldn't put it in my top 5 purely for the reason of it doesn't have much replayability.
No, not really.
But as a game, it is so close to perfect. It is one of those games that I'd be happy to recommend to anybody and everyone. Really.
Well, it's a game. I mean, literally, I had my sister play that game, and she did it in about an hour and a bit, with a little bit of help.
Yeah.
And it was one of the games where she went, "That was awesome." Is the second one out yet?
Yeah. Not yet.
Soon,
very soon.
Well, maybe. You know what Valve's like. We're still waiting on Half-Life 2 Episode 3.
We're never going to get it.
But what I love about that game is you don't fire a single shot.
Yeah.
In it. You get what I mean? It's so clever how it's done. Yeah.
This is why I don't technically count the Portal gun as a gun.
No, it's more of a...
I refuse to include it in any
gravity gun as a gun.
I will allow that because it fires a damaging projectile.
Yeah.
That is the only reason I'll allow it. The Portal gun doesn't actually fire a damaging projectile, so it can't be included.
Isn't it Half-Life 2 Episode 2 where you can do the whole thing with only firing one bullet?
Yes. I think so.
I don't know.
Isn't that one of the achievements?
Yeah, I believe so. Also, Nemain's given me a top 6 list.
Oh dear.
Mainly because we might not count one of the games as a actual game. I think you can already guess what it is, but Kev, you do yours first.
Yeah.
Last one first.
Hold on, I haven't finished.
Oh, yes, we did. Oh my god.
One of my favourite things to, again on the note of achievements, one of the most pleasurable sort of like grinding achievements I've ever done was the one on Half-Life 2. We have to carry the gnome all the way through.
I haven't done that. I cannot be asked to do that. I'm sorry.
There was something very, very pleasurable about putting the gnome in the back of the buggy while you drive round and then getting out periodically to make sure it hadn't fallen out. And I remember driving for about a mile and it had fallen out, and driving back along the road, finding the gnome, putting it back in the car. And there was also there was sort of an element of sadness when I wished it bon voyage by putting it into the rocket and sending it to another dimension.
See, all I've had to do with that gnome is rescue it from a carnival from hordes of zombies.
But I don't know. I kind of feel there's something on a level. I don't know. I kind of click with Gordon Freeman in that I know the feeling to be highly qualified. Yet I'm the one who
has
will always have to push the red button or to
the grunt.
Yeah. So,
just note to anyone who is listening in, when the world does end, just rest assured it was Adam's fault.
Yeah, no, I'm already blaming him.
But I want to be the cause of the end of the world.
No, you just survive and kill everyone that survives.
Woohoo!
Adam goes, I'm going off to a top-level conference in Iran. Oh, good God.
Can my gravestone just have whoops written on it?
Yes.
Sorry, can my crypt have whoops written on it?
So, yeah, we got to get it right.
Just so when they dig me up and in like 3,000 years' time and I'm on Time Team and they're going, well, he appears to have been buried with all these ceremonial blue, it must have been this blue hedgehog god that they worshipped.
Called Whoops.
He also appears to have this very poorly preserved note on him, and it says apparently, my bad.
We believe King My Bad ruled to where it is.
But yes. Yeah. Anyway.
Excellent. And of Captain Pugwash.
Is that your number one?
Phil, be quiet. Kev, what's your number one?
Right. My number one.
Yeah, your number one.
Well, my number one personal, my number one game of the decade.
Game of
whatever,
decade,
yeah, whatever.
Whatever, okay. My game of the decade then is World of Warcraft.
Oh.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Explain.
It's probably the one that you've seen the most, Kev.
Yes, perhaps this would require explanation. Not to say that it's my favourite. If we were talking about my favourite game, we'd be talking about Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, for all the reasons so far that everyone said.
Yeah.
Very passionate play. However, if we're talking about actual game of the decade, it's got to be WoW. I may hate it and loathe an absolute passion, with the exception of the music. But there's no denying that in the last decade, and this did come out within the last decade, it was announced 01, I believe, it's changed everything. It's changed the way that every video gaming company looks at gaming. It is the software equivalent to the Wii's hardware, in that it has increased the market range of the entire industry. In a game that appeals to absolutely everyone, of all ages, whether or not you think that's a good or bad thing, I don't know, but you certainly can't deny its impact, its success, and its continued success.
Yes.
No, I will agree with that.
I mean, it's like crack cocaine as well, which is rather...
That's how I would describe it.
Yeah.
But the thing is that good design or bad design?
Well, in some views it's bad design because
Panorama.
it's rewarding people for grinding with small things, and games should try to work harder in order to create more rewarding rewards than just you've grinded for so long, you get this.
I think you could possibly argue that it's the first game to have a completely universal, worldwide appeal.
Well,
pretty much everyone from all walks of life has played it. Probably since the sort of like Pong, Pac-Man, Tetris, Space Invaders.
Yeah.
It's in that group.
I will tell you what, Kev, I'll come back to you on that one when I start off with Urtheart's Boombox again, whenever I start up, because that is actually something I want to discuss with another franchise.
I'd love to talk about that with you.
Huh?
I'd love to talk about that with you.
Yeah, and I will tell you what that franchise is, but it's not quite for the same reason, but this franchise has taken over practically every form of media, and I would be hard-pressed to say that there is no one in the world that's not under like the age of 5 that would not recognise this franchise. They may not be able to name, exacts in it, but they know the franchise exists.
Is it Breakout?
No.
Mickey Mouse?
Is it Snake?
No.
Is it FIFA?
Pardon?
FIFA?
No, it's not FIFA. It's a Nintendo-owned franchise.
Mario?
No.
Game &
Wii
Watch?
Sports?
No. Pokemon.
Oh, God.
I know you guys hate it, but I promise you would be hot. You show someone a picture of Pikachu, they may not be able to name it as a Pikachu, but they will bloody well tell you it's a Pokemon.
Yeah.
And if you look at how much, let's put it this way, the TV anime series, I know you want to wrap this up.
Yeah.
The TV anime series has been now running for
well too long.
677 episodes.
Yeah.
I'm getting a vague sense of deja vu from the franchises show we did with John.
Might be. But
Because we already discussed that.
anyway, right. Before we go, the main top 6, GoldenEye, Super Mario 3, GoldenEye being the one on the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, not the
So
new
we're
one.
going from 6 to 1 here.
No, this is in no order.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oblivion, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, so I think we can probably declare that's overall the winner. And then then it's a choice between 2 for a top 5 because we're not sure she'll count her top 1 as a real game. Nazi Zombies.
Yeah, it's a sub
a mini game.
Yeah.
It's a mini game. Also,
But at the same extent, it stands on its own as a game.
Well, she's only saying that because she couldn't stomach saying COD.
Yeah,
well, this
probably.
is the thing. She doesn't like the game. She only likes Nazi Zombies. She bought Black Ops purely for 1 extra map on Nazi Zombies.
And that is what Activision is going.
Yeah. Anyway, damn them.
And she just sent me a text saying that wasn't in any particular order. So, but if we won't accept Nazi Zombies, her 5th place one would be F-Zero GX. So
It's a good one to go for. Alright.
We're out of time.
Not quite. I've not said my number 1 yet.
Hey, you've not. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry, I forgot you.
I've still got another one. I'm going to cheat here, actually. I'm going to say the Orange Box. I know that's a collection of games.
It was released as a single game for Xbox.
It was
One.
released-
It was released as a single game for the Xbox, and it collects together. I bought it initially just to play Half-Life 2 because I wanted to see what the hell it was all about. It was fairly cheap, so I bought it for Half-Life 2. After I finished all that, I was like, yeah, okay. Ended up going on to Portal for a bit. Really enjoyed that. And then I got into TF2 with all you guys, and I'm still playing it.
Just on a different format.
Just on a different format. So, and it is probably the best value I've got out of the game, certainly this generation. Maybe even going back even further. It's just, I've wasted so many hours in Gordon Freeman, playing Portal, or just mowing you guys down as a heavy. Or swearing into the microphone. As you may remember.
Happy days.
Yes, happy days. I've still got that Christmas card you sent me last year.
Yeah.
Anyway, kids, Top Gear's on now. So
Alright, yes, it's Top Gear.
No.
Yes, so we will show the ending. To play us out tonight, we're having Labyrinth, and then House of Cards from Joker. So enjoy these 2 tracks, or switch to Top Gear, whichever you prefer. It's been fun.
Peace out, y'all.
Yeah.